I mean, there's only showing the road, huh? There you go. Nice.
Y'all will make me talk to her, I know.
That's right.
Yes. Since I'm the only liberal on the commission, you're gonna make me talk to her. She's. Thanks. Appreciate that. I'm an old Oklahoma Democrat. Okay, we're gonna put you on her.
I don't think it works that way. That may not help.
It's good.
Okay, it's 9 o'clock. Let's start the Wildlife Commission meeting. If you'll read the roll call.
Commissioner Dennis? Here. Commissioner Dillon? Commissioner Hunter?
Here.
Commissioner Mabry is absent. Commissioner Zelps?
Here.
Commissioner Dillingham? Here. Commissioner Kane?
Here. Invocation. Bill.
Let us pray. Dear Lord, we thank you for this day and the time we have to spend with our family and friends. We're grateful, Lord, for the many blessings you bestow upon us and the majesty of your kingdom. Father, I ask you to provide us the guidance and wisdom needed for the conservation of the natural resources of this great state. Be with those who may be sick or in need, and ask for peace and unity in our country and in the world. We ask these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, Tammy, could you introduce the guest?
With volunteers,
You raise your hand just so we know where you're at. Okay.
Brent Bensler. Laura McIver with Home Forever. James Steech with Home Forever.
Welcome. Okay. Yes.
I might also recognize two additional guests that just joined us probably before the cards came in, Scott Northcutt and Sean Cummings with Grand National Quail Hunt and Foundation of Enid. Thank you all for being here.
I understand you're bringing us something. I like that. Let's see. We've got presentation awards. Steve?
All right, it's my privilege to recognize a 25-year veteran and a good one. Drew, you want to come up? Drew Pope. Drew, as most of you know, is one of our 25-year guys. He started, I didn't know this, in 2000 as a fisheries tech. Fisheries division has trained up a lot of good guys. I started in fisheries, not that I'm a good guy, but a lot of guys come through fish, and a lot, it seems, come through CNE.
There's always exceptions.
Anyway, started in 2000 as a fish tech. 2001, he promoted to game warden. In 18, he promoted to warden supervisor, District 3. So for those of you that know, Drew, you'll know what I'm going to say. For those of you that don't, it might be a surprise, but it's really not. He's one of the guys that you wish every employee, and most do, but if everybody had his attitude and passion for the job in the department, it would be a great thing, right? He's it's in his DNA, like most of us. His attitude's great. He's always positive. He knows how to overcome, face the challenges. his experience, tenure helps him do the job well. He's always willing to step up. I got a few notes here that I'm gonna read about him, but one thing that really does jump out about Drew, for those of you know him, is just his attitude. It's great. I was told by a guy one time, may or may not have been my father, you can be the smartest guy, the toughest guy, have the most education, you can have 5 PhDs. It doesn't matter what you are, if your attitude's not right, you're not gonna get where you probably could be if you didn't have your attitude right. So he's that guy. He's been an instructor at every ODWC Game Warden Academy for the last 5 years, since inception. He's a counselor at ODWC Youth Camp since 2002, and he's been the director of that for 3. If you've been to youth camp, he's out there right in the middle of it, heat and all, and loves it.
I did.
That's the other thing. It's not just our love for the job, but it's about our love for what everybody else likes to do and sees in us, and that's the kids, mainly, the next generation. He was awarded the NWIA Life-Saving Award in 2017, Warden of the Year in 2013, and the NACLAC Graduate in 2018. He graduated from our Leadership Development program in 13, our Wildlife Resource Professional course in 11. He's a hunting accident investigator. We actually went through that. Several of us was at the C&E meeting, but it's pretty cool stuff on, you walk up on an accident, hunting accident, and you think you know what happened just on initial observance. You really don't know what happened. So pretty cool stuff on these guys that go out and do these hunting, outdoor accident investigations. It's almost a science. Drew works across all divisions. I mentioned his great attitude. There's nothing he won't step up and do. It's just kind of in his DNA, and that's a good thing. Drew is not only a great family man, but Drew, you're just a good human being, mostly. And then he relayed to me, after years in the field, he discovered this new passion, and it was woodcock hunting with the dog. Yeah. And it may or may not have been in your backyard all along. So, Drew, 25 years of impeccable service. Congrats. Good work.
Very much.
Letter and pen, and you've got the mic.
It was beach plan. I did actually start out in wildlife division.
Really?
As an hourly with Dennis.
Okay.
Ferry. So I started wildlife, went to fisheries,
Okay.
and then promoted up to law enforcement. No, some people say that this job's not for everyone, and it's not, but it truly has been for me. You know, if you find a job you love, you'll never have to work a day in your life. And for the last 25 plus years, I've never truly worked a day. I've never got up one morning and thought, I've got to go to work. I love it. It's like you said, it's in my DNA, and I look forward to another 5 or 10. So I appreciate the kind words, the accolades, and the ability to be up here and be recognized for 25 years of service. So thank you.
Congratulations, Drew.
Another quick note, if you want to really get a taste of the passion for our folks, we've got that YouTube video, Outdoor Oklahoma video. The one in particular Drew's the star of, and that's his life in the day of a game warden. That's pretty cool stuff. If you watch that, I'm not sure where you find it, probably Passion for Game Warden or what the title would be, but if that doesn't move you or let you know how passionate folks are, you're in the wrong place. So good job on that, Drew, and the C&E team for that. Good stuff. Thank you.
Okay, item number 7, Nathan, presentation of your life-saving award.
Thank you, Commissioners. What we're gathered here for today, we're going to celebrate and recognize, looks like 3 of the game wardens that have life-saving awards today. The Colonel's life-saving citation, I'll go through what qualifies first. It says, may be awarded to an employee of law enforcement division who rendered a service beyond the normal course of duty, specifically when the employee action included the performance of a difficult task which clearly exceeded what is normally required or resulted in the protection of a person's life. So these 3 wardens here today have all gone above and beyond, and most of them have put their life on the line to help somebody else. First one today is Zane Arnold. Zane, you want to come up real quick? Yeah. March 18th of 2024, 7:35 in the evening. They received a call from Johnson County about a shooting at Blue River fishing area. First one to respond, he showed up to the campsite, couldn't find anybody where they were supposed to be. He continued to look through the area, found the individual, came to find out the pistol had fallen out of the guy's pocket, hit on a rock, shot him through the leg and then into the chest. Then got there was a couple of bystanders there assisting. He took over, put a tourniquet on the guy's leg to stop the bleeding in his leg, and then went and got his trauma kit out of his truck and put a chest seal on the individual to keep him from bleeding out and from having a lung collapse. Our Lieutenant, Bud Kramer, that did the investigation and wrote the nomination for Zane, said that he talked to the fire chief in Tishomingo, and the chief stated that his crew did not have a chest seal, and if not for one, the victim could have bled to death before additional help could have arrived. So, being prepared, it's not the first time he's been in here to get an award for doing such actions. So, thank you for your service, and I have a little award for you here, and we also had recognized all these officers with a life-saving award as well. So he will get one of these as well. Zane, here you go. Life-saving. Sure. Let me find your certificate here.
And if you could also center yourself.
Just get down that way a little bit.
All right, so this one. All right, one.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you, and congratulations, Zane. Thank you for what you do.
Yeah.
Next award goes to Josie Branch. Josie's the game warden up in Stillwater, and most of you maybe saw on TV. He was doing a routine patrol, going down to check a fishing dock on Blackwell Lake. As he was walking up, a one-year-old girl was playing on the dock, fell off into the water, started sinking. Josie, in his fast thinking, dumped off his bulletproof vest since he'd been through water survival school and knew that could help him go to the bottom of the lake. And in about 13 feet of water, jumped in with the girl's dad and saved her life and brought her back up onto the dock. So, Josie, thank you for your service. Let me go ahead and get this opened up here. So, he did an awesome job and went above and beyond. He jumped in, which all of our wardens have been through that water survival school, and I went through it last year. And I'm telling you, with a duty belt and boots, you don't swim there. I found that out really fast. Josie risked his life to save this little girl. We appreciate your dedication.
Thank you, Josie.
Okay, last but not least, Cody Jones. Cody Jones has been to a training on April 22nd. He'd been over to assist with the Big Five Fishing Clinic. And he was on his way home after a long day of helping kids bait worms and take fish off of hooks and untangle reels and rods. He was the first to come across a vehicle accident with a car off in the ditch. A couple of other bystanders were there saying that the individual was slumped over the steering wheel. Cody went over, checked, he was unresponsive, didn't have a pulse, wasn't breathing. Cody pulled him out, pulled him back to safety. Him and the EMTs started doing CPR, got him back to life and saved his life that day. So Cody, thank you for your service, appreciate your work and going above and beyond and saving the person there. Citizen of Oklahoma. So, thank you, sir. Yo.
Josie, we come back.
Thank you, Cody. Proud of you. Great job, guys.
Thank you. All right, ready? 1, 2. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys. We had two more that couldn't make it in today, and that was Spencer Grace and Larry Green from District 8, District 1, up below Call Lake. I'll go ahead and fill you in on what they did that day. Two teenage boys had waded out in the tailwaters below the dam, were fishing from an island. They ignored the siren when it went off, saying that they were going to start releasing water. They were on this island, the water started coming up. They were busy fishing, I can see where they would be. By the time they realized that they were caught and they couldn't get out of there, they tried to wade back across the river. They got washed down river a little ways. People on the bank called 911, and Larry and Spencer showed up from their house to this site in 17 minutes. And if you've ever been out below Call Dam, there's not anybody that lives close to that place. So they showed up with their boat, got it unloaded, while the sheriff's office, the police department, EMTs, OHP were all on the bank. They didn't have a boat. So they got there, braved the rising water, went out and saved both of these individuals and took them back to the bank to get treated for the cold water exposure that they had had. So both those guys put their life at risk in that day to save those two teenagers. So sorry they couldn't be here to receive the award, but that wraps up all of our awards for today. Thank you.
Thank you, Nathan. You know, it's amazing how our wardens are at the right place at the right time. And you all are the face of the department, and we appreciate your service very, very much. So keep up the good work. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 8, do I have any discussion on the minutes of the last meeting? If not, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Gaddis?
Aye.
Commissioner Rea? Aye. Commissioner Holder?
Aye.
Commissioner Miller? Commissioner Case?
Aye. Number 9, presentation. Nels?
Commissioners, it's my pleasure to introduce Amanda Thomas. Amanda's been up here several times to talk about shooting ranges, and she's going to do so again today.
I'd like to ask Mr. Sean Cummings to come forward, please. We're going to accept a $1,000 donation for the concrete sidewalk. Oh, I'm full. Probably can't hear me as well as all the guys. They are providing a donation to pour a concrete sidewalk out to the trap thrower at Pack Saddle Shooting Range. If you'll remember, it opened up in 2023, and we immediately had some response from some of the schools out there where they couldn't get their trap thrower out to the pad because it's so sandy. So thankful to the Grand National Quail Club, and I will pass it off to Mr. Cummings.
Thank you so much.
We certainly appreciate the encouragement for the young people to get involved in shooting sports. They're the next generation, and we feel that's a great opportunity for us to invest in. And thank you for your continued relationship with the Grand National Quail Club and the Grand National Quail Club Foundation. We appreciate you all.
Thank you. Thank you.
John, we appreciate you and Scott being here today. The Grand National Quail Foundation and Quail Club's been a longtime supporter of conservation on projects in conjunction with the department. And this $1,000, what are we able to turn that into a $9,000 gift for the project there? I think we have a 9-to-1 match typically on that. So your dollars are helping us garner a lot of great work out there and really stretching it. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
If you haven't been to the Pack Saddle shooting range, you should. It's quite a place. So I would encourage you all to go out there and many other ranges. Great program. Number 10, Director's Report, Wade.
All right, you should have the full report in your packet. I'm gonna go over our highlights, cover most of those. I'll start out with some calendar items. As most of you know, and if you don't, you will now, we have our second annual legislative reception this evening, 4:30 to 6:30. I'd like to thank the Wildlife Foundation and the Game Warden Association for hosting that. Hope everybody plans to be there this evening. February 11th and 12th, we have the Oklahoma Archery in the School State Shoots in Oklahoma City. 19th and 20th, we have the shoots in Tulsa. Anyone that wants to help with that is welcome. It's quite an event. A lot of kiddos and one of our premier programs within the state. March 5th is Rack Madness here at the headquarters. Somebody tell me what time that starts. 1 to 6, right? 1 to 6, okay. If you have a rack, if you're interested in seeing some pretty cool antlers and maybe some elk, pronghorn, that's March 5th, 1 o'clock. Right now, I think we've got 80 folks registered. They can bring up to 2 things to be measured. We're shooting for 200 racks to be measured. I think probably in the height of the madness, we had one year where we were pushing 300, but that 200's manageable. We had Todd Craighead's retirement party. Mr. Chairman, you mentioned face of the agency. Todd, after 30 years as a stellar C&E employee and face of the agency, is departing.
What was his official date?
Friday.
Friday?
That was official, okay. Definitely was the face of the agency on our Outdoor Oklahoma TV show, and he will be missed and did a great job. And then, Laura, I can't not recognize you for being here. Everybody knows what Laura's been through. I'm going to phrase it as probably, since you're the upland gal, the best quail season ever, but probably the roughest for her and James. So keep them in your prayers, and it's been a rough go. And
Thank you. I felt the prayers. Thank you.
you're part of our family, so sorry for bringing that up, but I couldn't pass it up. So it took a lot for you to be here today. Thank you. I'm going to start out with administration. In accounting, the entire team pitched in to get 80+ OLAP POs issued. No small feat. OLAP is our land access program. And got the invoice submitted and paid prior to December 31st in license. Early 25 numbers show we've, as we talked last time, we're kind of normalizing, and we've been picking up some additional activity on annual hunting licenses from non-resident waterfowl hunters. So we're starting to see that increase late season. Most of it's over. There's still some goose stuff open, but we're seeing those revenues kind of increase a little bit. IT worked with C&E to start planning for Rack Madness, and in property, we just finished up our vehicle auction. That estimated number is about $400,000 on the used vehicle sales, so that's definitely a plus. I'd like to thank Daniel for kind of herding the cats on the vehicle auction. There was some used equipment in there as well. Kind of a good side note there for our property section. Not only do we manage our own fleet, we manage it well, so thanks to Daniel and his team. In fisheries, you've heard before about Jap Beaver Lake renovation. Yeehaw, the project is almost complete, with several improvements made by ODWC staff. Things like sediment removal, boat ramp replacement, road conversion, some shoreline access work, spillway and emergency spillway work is almost complete. And once completed, the gates will be closed, and believe it or not, the lake will refill. Ken, any idea of when that might happen on the gates closed?
We had a couple week delay on, some of the pipe liner. I think that's supposed to be this week. So as soon as, it should be sometime this week, we
So
start.
there'll be water sometime this spring.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then we'll also start restocking the lake as well. So
Awesome.
reestablish the fish population.
So we get to mark one off of our to-do list. In fisheries, a lot of wintertime maintenance, boat maintenance, trailers and equipment and gear and pumps and you name it, there's always stuff to maintain in the winter time to get things ready to roll again in the spring. But everything from boats and motors, four-wheelers, tractors, skid steers, and a lot of equipment. Like all divisions, we don't just do wildlife work, fish work, law work, we do all kinds of stuff. So we're kind of, in all divisions, jack of all trades in a way, while remaining specialized in some cases. Paddlefish netting, paddlefish is a big deal, always been a big deal. Some pretty cool stuff when it comes to paddlefish work. The Paddlefish and Native Non-Game Program had a successful winter netting season for 24-25, conducting stock assessments from Thanksgiving through the end of January. Over 6 weeks, the teams worked on Weber's Falls, Grand, Kerr, and Eufaula. 275 600-foot gill nets. That's a lot of nets, totaling 31.2 miles of net. There is opportunity for some of you, if you want to observe that at some time next year, to get in on that. It's pretty cool science. 2,179 paddlefish were landed with an average of, or a total of about 67,000 pounds of paddlefish. A lot of work and a lot of volunteers on that thing. Some notable highlights, besides catching a massive 112-pound paddlefish on Weber's Falls, 2 record-breaking fish on Kerr weighed 84 and 105 pounds, so those are big creatures. If you've ever been paddle fishing, those things average 50, 55 pounds. When they get up in that 80 to 112 pounds, they are a creature. Yeah, something from Jurassic Park size, so pretty cool stuff. Surprisingly, they had a capture of a fish originally tagged in Hudson Lake in 2006, which had somehow navigated past 2 high dams over that 18-year period. So, pretty amazing. So they battled some weather and got through it, and paddlefish are in good hands. In C&E division, you heard about the shoots coming up, NAF shoots and varsity archery shoots. The state shoots will be held again here, Oklahoma City, February 11th, and then Tulsa, February 19th and 20th. Rack Madness. We had a well-attended ribbon-cutting ceremony at Atoka WMA shooting range. Thank Commissioner Gaddis and Commissioner Deal for attending that. It was well-attended, and some folks got to shoot at the new range. I'll give a shout-out again to Amanda and the C&E team for work well done there. There's a lot of work involved in one of those things. ODWC has a new tool to communicate with the public through a new studio. Is that in the basement or the storage room? Where I'm told it's not a podcast, but it's like a podcast where you can join. I think we're up for a line for our second one and learn how to do everything from catfishing, and I think the next one is paddle fishing. So the first episode continues to grow in views, and the new format can be found on the Outdoor Oklahoma YouTube channel. We are coordinating our presence at the next Backwoods Show. It's going to be held February 28th at the fairgrounds. And then we've got a winning bidder for parking lots. Some of you are keenly interested in this one to get some of the work done at Arcadia Education Center. In Wildlife Division, still lots of WMA maintenance activity, taking care of hunters, hunter surveys. Still a lot of quail hunting pressure out west. and lots of shooting sports and use of our shooting ranges on the WMAs. Deer harvest is better than last year at 125,786 deer. So things are looking good on the deer front. If you remember, the all-time high was 134 and some change. So we're right in that ballpark on deer harvest. So things are looking good there. It kind of shows we kind of are doing well and kind of know how to manage deer. We are the top 5 deer state, and it's from the hard work that the wildlife guys, enforcement guys do out there on the landscape. A lot of prescribed burn plans being submitted. A lot of turkey, pronghorn, and mule deer research going on. Aerial surveys, I think they may still have a couple to do, but we've been flying pronghorns in the Panhandle. I got to get in on one of those routes a week ago. Pretty cool stuff. I had flashbacks of when I originally set up those surveys years ago, and it's low-level flying, 100 to 200 foot off the ground, trying to, if you work cattle, how many do you get? How many cows, calves? It's kind of hard just when they're going through a gate, let alone, 80 knots at 200 foot coming in behind 50. How many bucks, does? Did you see any callers? That's even double tough. So, kind of got that down to a science. And then you've heard about trapping workshops. We had the initial workshop January 5th at Fort Gibson, 17 attendees. Trapping is cool. Trapping is kind of on the downhill. Not a lot of market, not a lot of people doing it, but it's pretty cool stuff. For those of you that have trapped, it is good and it is fun. So well attended, and the guys are putting those on each fall and winter. If you don't know anything about trapping, you can show up to a trapping workshop. One of the kids actually set a trap and caught his first coyote, I believe it was, at that workshop. So probably hooked for life. Everything from showing you how to catch the fur to skinning it out and prep it for sale. So good job on that. All right, in the law enforcement division, a lot of names in here, and I'm just going to name them. In District 5, again, highlights. Lots of stuff going on out there, but we've got some highlights here. We had Game Wardens Harriet Bewley Taylor and Captain Emmons, who assisted with mentoring and guiding new adult hunters during the holiday antlerless season through a partnership with Oklahoma Hunters and Anglers, basically where they were mentoring adult hunters on some of their first hunts, including processing of the deer. So we catered all, kids, adults. We're all about sharing that harvest and the things that we know. So good job on those guys putting that on. Anyway, they actually killed some deer and butchered them up and prepped them, and they learned more than just the hunt. And then District 4, we had Wardens Arnold, Hale, and Beam, who assisted the Highway Patrol in a search for a missing fisherman. Those are always tough. You heard a little bit about that with Nate's presentation. But had a call of a missing fisherman on the Washita River in Little City. And that one didn't turn out so good, but they had to deal with it. And then District 8, we had Warden Cottrell, who made a late season surge in illegal deer cases. He made 2 of the 4 illegal deer cases against a non-resident that did not buy any licenses at all. We're seeing a little bit of that with pricing being different. He was able to make these cases due to a mad ex-wife who kind of turned him in and gave him up. Yeah. So got some good information, Wardens, on my ex. Yeah. So he made 2 cases with the assistance of Warden Ray, and there's some other illegal deer cases that were made during the holiday antler seasons where the folks killed bucks and checked them in as archery. So we're always on top of that stuff. We had 17 new field training officers, FTOs, recently completed training, and they will join the other 25 as a group of now of about 43. So the FTO program requires a minimum of 3 FTOs and 1 lieutenant over a minimum of 14 weeks to train each new hire. And lastly, the Game Warden Association and Oklahoma Department of Wildlife Law Enforcement Division had a Fill the Boat campaign where they set up at, I think it was Walmart's, right, Marshall? And over the holiday season, fill the boat full of toys and give them to the kiddos that need them. There was 1,420 toys from 6 locations around the state distributed to kids that need a little bit more positivity and presents and gifts during that holiday time. So that's cool deal. They were given to families and local charities to be handed out. That's all I had, and probably all you wanted to hear about from me. But Nels, you want to give us a quick legislative update? Things are kicking off today.
In the meantime.
Questions, Wade, on the aerial surveys on Pronghorn, do you video those?
They're not entirely videoed, but one of the protocols is when you're coming in on a big herd is to literally video them as you come up from behind them, from the tail end to the front.
And then you can later take your time and look at.
So I've got 40 does and 3 bucks and 1 collar. You can go back and look at that video and slow it down and think, wow, Nels is not very good at it, but Mr. Barwick is really good at it. So yeah, we can verify with video. But we don't video the entire thing, but in most cases, when you get a big herd that it's hard to get a count on, 30 animals or more, we do.
And one other calendar item I'd like to make sure everybody's aware of, and that's on February 28th. The foundation will have their annual fundraising gala.
Yep.
So I encourage everyone to attend and bring your pocketbook.
Yeah. And I want to say one more thing. Giving kudos to Amanda Thomas and her team and all the crew. I mean, I know it takes a village, but that facility in Atoka, if you have a chance to go see it, you really ought to. I mean, it's just pretty spectacular, and it's very impressive. Congratulations and thank you.
So one more plug on ranges. Why ranges? Well, 7 out of $10 coming in are shooters. Hunters shoot, but not all shooters hunt. But we had 87 WMAs with only 14 ranges, and the law says you can't target shoot unless you're at a designated range. So you can see we've got a lot of catching up to do. So the blinkers help pay for the machine. So thanks for shooters.
Atoka was the most expensive one we've ever done, isn't it?
Hey, it's nice.
And if you've ever met gun guys, I mean, I've got lots of guns, but I'm not a gun guy. They're as passionate about their guns and ammo and this cartridge and that amount of powder and IMR 4064 and bullets I've never heard of. They're as crazy as quail hunters are. So we build it, they'll come. Thank you.
Commissioners, appreciate the chance to give you an update. I'm going to keep it pretty brief today because, of course, we're just getting started and having conversation with members. But there are around 30-something wildlife bills, some of which have substantive language, some of which don't. Also point out sometimes a bill gets filed and until you visit with a member, that may not even actually be what they were intending. Sometimes the write-ups get off a little bit, but we certainly intend to visit with all the members about their bills and see if there's reasonable and responsible means to get to solving problems or capitalizing on opportunities where it's feasible. So, and do look forward to just having some informal visitations with just meet and greet type for tonight's reception. Not really pushing any agendas, just introductions, and looking forward to working with you. So,
what time is that?
4:30. I don't know if anybody has any specific questions about something they've heard about, or we'll have much better update next month, of course.
You know. Number 11, presentation of financial reports. Andrea?
Good morning. Okay, I'm here to present the December financial reports. This first slide is our revenue comparison through December 31st of FY25 versus 24. And the revenue collection for FY25 was $38,401,578. And for FY24 through the same time period was $34,108,213 for an increase of 13%. This slide is a comparison of our expenditures for the same time period. For FY '25, our expenditures were $38,849,632. And for FY '24 through December 31st was $29,868,791 for an increase of 30%. This is our cash balance across our different revolving funds for $20,592,060. This is the combined balances across all of the different trust funds, and we'll have, of course, a series of slides on some specifics. But at the high level, the balance through December 31st was $316,974,321 versus last year at this time, $281,540,014. Taking a look at our lifetime trust, the beginning balance as of November 30th was $160,300,258. Sorry, I'm having a little trouble reading that. So okay, sorry, let me do that again. Started with $160,399,258, and then you can see the action across the month of December, leaving us with $157,413,850. This is our lifetime pension trust fund. Started with $148,266,509. There was a negative loss of funds during the month of $3,588,539 for an ending balance of $144,677,970. And this is the defined contribution trust fund, which started with a balance of November 30th of $9,878,124 with a net loss of $184,009 and an ending balance of $9,694,116. All our contributions for your consideration for the month of December total $7,800.
Questions for Andrea? Do we have a motion to accept those donations and also from the Quail Club?
So moved.
Second. I did want to also point out that in your packets, I gave I gave you like we have our final Sport, Fish, and Wildlife Restoration funding. We received that for federal fiscal year '25, and that's in your packet. Wildlife restoration came in at $21.1 million, which was about 8.7% down. Sport Fish came in at $7.2 million, which was 9.8% up. And I'll keep you guys updated as we go throughout the year.
Appreciate that support. Thank you.
Commissioner Betts?
Aye.
Commissioner Hill? Commissioner Herbert? Commissioner Phelps?
Aye.
Commissioner Williams?
Aye.
Commissioner King? Commissioner Barnes?
Any new business? Commissioner Hill? You got anything new?
Anything new? Oh, thank you, I'm sorry.
The next meeting will be held March 3rd here in Oklahoma City. So this meeting is adjourned.
Might be a record short.